Hey everyone, today we're diving into a topic that might hit a little too close to home for some of you. Sneaky tricks your boss uses to make you work more. Ever wondered why your workload keeps creeping up even when you didn't exactly volunteer for it? Or why you're staying late at the office while your boss seems to stroll out right on time? It's not a coincidence, and it's not because you're bad at saying no. It's a game, one that your boss might be playing without you even realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot these tactics and, more importantly, how to counter them without burning any bridges. So let's get into it. Here's the thing. Bosses are human too. They have deadlines, they have pressure from higher-ups, and they're always looking for ways to get the most out of their team. And sometimes, that means using some subtle tactics to squeeze a little extra effort out of you. But it's not all doom and gloom. Once you know what to look for, you can protect your time and energy. Let's start with one of the classics, the fake compliment. You know how it goes. You're so good at this. I don't trust anyone else to handle it. And boom, suddenly you're the go-to person for that tedious report or late-night presentation prep. It feels flattering, right? Like you're being recognized for your skills. But here's the trick. It's actually a subtle way of shifting responsibility onto you. The compliment is real, but the extra work? That's all yours now. It's like they're saying, you're great, so why don't you take on more? But don't get me wrong, it's not always malicious. Your boss might genuinely think you're the best person for the job. But if you find yourself constantly getting new tasks after a round of flattery, it's time to set some boundaries. Next time you get a compliment followed by a request, try responding with, I appreciate the vote of confidence, but I'm currently handling A, B, and C. How should I prioritize this new task? It shifts the focus back to your workload and makes them think twice before piling more onto your plate. Here's another classic move, the informal deadline. This one's sneaky because it's not always obvious. Your boss might casually mention that a task would be great to have done by Friday, but never actually says it's due then. It sounds like a suggestion, right? But it's not. It's actually a subtle pressure to prioritize that task over others, without the boss having to commit to a formal deadline. And if you finish it early, guess what? They'll think you have extra time for the next thing on their list. To counter this, you need to clarify the urgency. Ask directly, is Friday a hard deadline for this, or is there some flexibility? This way, you know what's actually expected, and you can manage your time accordingly. If it turns out there's no rush, you can focus on higher priority tasks without feeling like you're slacking off. And let's not forget about the team player guilt trip. This one is a classic. When your boss says things like, everyone's pitching in extra time on this, or we really need the whole team to step up right now, it's a way of making you feel like you're letting everyone down if you don't stay late or take on more work. It plays on our natural desire to be seen as a supportive part of the group. And let's be honest, no one wants to be the person who seems like they aren't pulling their weight. But here's the catch. Just because others are putting in extra hours doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your personal time. Next time you hear the team player line, try saying, I'm happy to help out as much as I can, but I need to make sure my current workload is manageable. Can we discuss which tasks are top priority? It shows that you're willing to contribute, but also sets a limit on how much you're willing to stretch yourself. Now, here's a tricky one, the open-ended request. It sounds like, could you just take a look at this when you have a chance? Or, would you mind giving this a quick review? It seems harmless, like it's no big deal. But what your boss is doing here is introducing a task without defining its scope. Before you know it, that quick review turns into a 2-hour deep dive. It's like opening a door, just a crack, and then suddenly you're being asked to walk through it. The solution? Define the scope immediately. If they ask you to take a look at something, respond with, sure, how deep do you want me to go on this? Or, is there a specific part you'd like me to focus on? This helps you control how much time and effort you're putting in and keeps the task from expanding beyond what you initially agreed to. Here's one that's becoming more common, especially with remote work, the casual check-in. It sounds friendly like, hey, just checking in on how things are going, or do you have a moment to chat? But these casual drop-ins often turn into extra assignments or long discussions that eat up your time. It's a way for your boss to slip in more work without scheduling an official meeting. If this keeps happening, try responding with, I have about 15 minutes right now, will that be enough time? Or let's schedule some time to go over this in detail. This sets clear limits on how much time you're offering and forces your boss to be more intentional about what they're asking from you. Now let's get into something a bit deeper, the shared vision talk. This is when your boss talks about the future of the company or the department, emphasizing how much your contributions will help achieve these big picture goals. It's motivating, sure, but it's also a subtle way of asking for more without directly asking. It makes it feel like if you don't put in the extra hours, you're not aligned with the vision or the mission. It's like saying, we're all in this together. So, can you do a little more? How do you handle this? Appreciate the vision, but bring the conversation back to practicalities. Say something like, I'm really excited about where we're heading, and I want to make sure my contributions are sustainable. Can we discuss how my current workload aligns with these goals? This way, you show that you're on board with the bigger picture, but set realistic expectations about what you can handle. And finally, one of the sneakiest tricks, the delayed approval. Your boss might hold off on giving you the green light for a task until the last minute, leaving you scrambling to finish on time. It's a way of creating artificial urgency, because now you're working late to meet a deadline that could have been met earlier if they just made a decision sooner. The fix? Whenever you send something for approval, include a gentle nudge like, let me know if this works for you by end of day tomorrow so I can move forward on schedule. It's a subtle way of reminding them that their timeline affects yours, and it keeps the pressure from landing solely on your shoulders. So, let's recap. Watch out for fake compliments that come with extra work. Clarify informal deadlines. Push back against the team player guilt trip. Define the scope of open-ended requests. Set time limits on casual check-ins. Align with the vision, but stay realistic, and nudge for timely approvals. These little tricks can add up if you're not paying attention, but with a few strategic responses, you can protect your time and energy. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to outsmart your boss. It's to work together without feeling overwhelmed or taken advantage of. It's about creating a balance where your effort is recognized and your time is respected. If you found these insights helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who might need it. Stay sharp, stay balanced, and I'll see you in the next one.